to do a separate self-contained flat in the roof space will be nigh on impossible, because that would come under London plan and a whole bunch of things. But when you talk about a planning application to make alterations to the commercial unit on the ground floor, such as partial demolition and some knocking in some windows at the rear, that should be relatively straightforward.
Anna, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm full-time in property, especially development. I do conversions and I'm very much into service accommodation.
Brilliant.
And yeah, today's deal is exactly in that space, conversion to flats.
Okay, excellent. Into the service accommodation model.
Might be.
Okay, nice. So how much investment are you wanting today from our angels?
It's going to be a 50-50 JV, and I'm looking to get around 700,000. I have the deal have different propositions. I'm going to present 2 different options, so it's a little bit depending on that, but in the range of 700,000. As you can see, this is that's the property. It's a commercial property, which was originally residential. It is a shop on the ground floor and offices on the first floor. The property is in Ealing Council. It's in Southwold, very close to the train station, which is now the Elizabeth Line station. Is basically 3 minutes walk on the main commercial road, which is leading to the Broadway, which is the high street basically of Southwold. I brought 2 different propositions. One is to convert it to flats, so it's purely residential conversion. And the other one is a conversion with a commercial aspects to keep the shop, to make it smaller, reduce the space of the shop, but keep the retail part of it on the ground floor. The conversion will be under Class MA and under planning permission. Basically, the current asking price is 1.25 million. I discussed that with the commercial agent who is managing that, and I put an offer on 850, which was not rejected. So we are still in the discussions of that. And when it comes to GDV, it depending on the proposition, as you might have seen before, so it's 1.85 to 2 million, with a profit, as I say, above 500,000, between 500,000 and 700,000. When it comes to the funding, so basically I'm looking for 50% joint venture. So I'm looking for someone who could bring the second half to the deal, which would be around 700,000. It's a little bit depends on of course, on the proposition, but that would be 50%. And then 50% profit split at the end of the project.
Is there a single-story extension on the ground floor?
Yes.
There is, okay.
It's very, very big. The thing about that single story, on the floor plans, it's not quite clear where the windows are on the ground floor, and which walls kind of back onto neighbouring walls, or which walls back onto somewhere where you could put windows. Where is the natural light in that rear extension? Have you seen that?
There is no natural light.
There's no natural light at the back?
Yeah, not at the moment.
You mentioned you need 700,000 from one of us, or from the Angels.
Correct.
And are you putting in the same?
Yes.
Oh, so it's equal cash.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Have you thought about perhaps financing the deal as opposed to just all cash, funding all the costs with cash?
Yes, I was thinking about this. It would be possible, basically.
I just think from the perspective of the investors, it probably would be slightly more attractive. I can only speak for myself, of course, but I would have thought it would be slightly more attractive to fund 60-70% of the costs, which essentially more than halves the requirement of cash.
You mean to finance to have a finance?
Correct.
Yeah. I thought that for the purchase itself, that would be much better to finance it with cash, especially that if you
especially Paul's pack cash, that would be all right.
With regards to the time frame of 10 to 12 months, would you say that's quite optimistic?
I think it's realistic. It's 8 weeks planning permission to start with. Then
which council
days.
is it?
No chance.
Ealing.
No
Ranjan?
chance.
Nicholas, you know about councils? Helen?
I'll come on to that in a moment, I think.
Never heard a council do it in 8 weeks before.
Never.
Pre-app, if you're lucky to get that in 8
Yeah.
weeks, let alone
That won't
full app.
happen,
That's realistically 4 to 6 months, isn't it?
Yeah.
To do a separate self-contained flat in the roof space will be nigh on impossible, because that would come under London plan and a whole bunch of things. But when you talk about a planning application to make alterations to the commercial unit on the ground floor, such as partial demolition and some knocking in some windows at the rear,
Yes.
that should be relatively straightforward. So not all planning applications are the same, basically.
Yeah.
GDVs of the studio flats,
Yes.
the comparables that we've got are pretty much for one-bedroom flats. And these will be studios on the ground floor, and they will be at the lower end of the studio scale because of the outlook that you'll be able to have in terms of windows and all the rest of it. So I'm just wondering what comparables, direct comparables you have for studios behind shops, because I think some of the comparables here are more for normal one-bedroom flats.
Basically, the comparables also here, if you can see, it's a huge difference. It's 223, 355 or 353, let's say, for one bed. When you look at this, you have to take into account that I couldn't get this just for the postcodes. So this is for the whole area, basically for the whole locality. So they are both apartments which are just 3 minutes walk to the station as this one, and the flats which are 1 hour away from the station. So
But what's the pound per square foot on that road?
I don't have it for that road, but in general for the central locations, it's around 580. It's like an average 580 per square foot.
Studios are easy to rent out, they're hard to sell, and they're hard to mortgage. So not a big fan of studios myself. I think there's quite a bit of risk in the planning and the time frame around that planning with this one, and PD isn't my area of expertise. So for those reasons, it's not for me.
For very similar reasons, and yeah, I just don't have confidence in the numbers that you have. But I love your confidence, and I hope you achieve those, but it's not for me.
Are you struggling to find your next commercial to residential conversion project? Well, over the next 2 years, virtually every UK bank branch will close. Banks are fabulous buildings in prime locations, and thanks to permitted development rights, they're really easy to convert to alternative uses under a light touch planning regime. My team have put together a list of over 500 UK bank branches which are poised for imminent closure. And for a limited period only, you can download this list absolutely free. Your next commercial property project is on this list, so download it now and enjoy the rest of the video.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nicholas has been very quiet, Anna, which is unusual for him. Would you like to go next?
Can't get a word in
Nicholas?
edgeways, Bob.
I think Anna
It's
had
been
lots.
one of those,
Anna
isn't
had a
it?
lot to say. To be fair,
I'm still pondering.
I thought you might. That's interesting. That's good news for you, Anna. I think. Ranjan.
Okay, this one is not for me for a number of reasons that we discussed. I don't think we'll get the flat in the top.
No.
And I would be looking at this from a view of selling on the flats. And I just think they're not really the type for sale. If this was in one of my target areas, I would look at doing this as a refinance and keep, because
Yes,
these flats would be highly rentable.
That's one of Anna's
I'm
options.
sorry because this
Yeah.
is maybe I haven't mentioned this one, but I would like to keep. I can keep all the units myself. I don't have a problem with this because I'm investing in this area, so I'm confident in that. Mm-hmm.
There's not a. We don't know enough about what might happen here. The top floor. I listened to Ranjan because he's got a lot of experience in this side of things, and I'm cautious about the top floor. I think there's a better way of presenting this deal, to be honest with you, because you may well get the tenant on the ground floor to sign a 10-year lease. That would make it worth, good money. So I'm not sure you brought it quite in the right presentation, and really for that reason, today I'm going to say no.
So,
I really don't know what to do here.
ooh,
Because you're highly investable.
I know.
I'd love to work
I can
with
tell you.
And this is a really horrible property in many ways that the guys have discussed. I don't mean that in terms of the way you've presented it. I mean that it's just got a lot of problems to overcome. You know, can we convert the roof? We don't really know. Can we get a decent rent for the commercial? We don't really know. With the floor plans, it seems you can only get windows on the bit where you've demolished the interconnecting part, on that front fascia where there's a little courtyard and nothing down the side. So then you definitely can't get 4 studios. You probably get 2 flats, 1 on each floor. They might have to be slightly bigger. You might get away with a secondary bedroom with a roof light if you're really lucky. But lighting issues under PD, you know, will need to be proven and researched. So it's really tricky. I mean, the GDV could be anywhere.
Well, can you make your mind up, please?
I think it's a good profit. Yeah, you know, it's a good profit in the deal. Even if you have any hesitations to this, I mean, there is still a lot can be done.
Okay, it's too risky for me to put any serious money into this. But what I will say, oh God, it's tricky.
It's a yes or no, Nicholas.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to give you a lifeline, and I'll top up your money, but we need to take development finance to cover a big chunk of the buy. If we do that, I'll put some of my time into it and work with you on it. That's my only offer, I'm afraid. I don't want to put in 700 grand, no chance. But if we can use finance and we can make money out of it, and we can de-risk some of the things on here before exchange, I'm interested because I quite like a challenge.
Is that a yes or no?
Yeah.
That's a yes, that's an offer, but we must take finance on the purchase. I'll top up any finance. That
Okay,
we can
so
get.
Anna, the offer you have is that Nicholas would like to partner you on a joint venture, but he's insisting that there's development finance involved and not purely cash. Would that be a fair?
Yeah, minimise all of our investment, basically.
Okay, so that's an offer.
That's an offer.
That's the only offer you've got today,
On
Anna.
a 50-50 basis, sorry, I should say.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
Thank you so
Well
much.
done. Congratulations.
See where we can get it. Let's hope we can prove them all wrong.
Yeah.
So, Anna, how did you get on?
Very well. I'm very happy. I've got a deal from Nick.
Brilliant.
Unfortunately, so some of the angels were not that comfortable with the new PD rights, and also they saw some risks in the deal, which is absolutely great to have a feedback. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got the deal, so we're going to discuss it later how to move on.
Never been so undecided on a deal. Or
We
an
couldn't
offer.
tell.
No.
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
dear me.
Well, I kept quiet. I don't think I hardly answered the question to start with. One early one. But,
I mean, I know Anna, and she's a very bright,
Yeah,
articulate,
clearly.
very clever lady, and
yeah.
I just think she didn't do herself justice in a way, because I think she needed perhaps more time to work the deal out in a better way.
Yeah.
But I think she could have presented it better. You saw through that, and I think
Yeah,
potentially
exactly.
you've got a great deal. But as it was on the day, you know, I think the rest of us felt probably, did we?
Well,
that
you
there
kind of
wasn't
helped
quite
her
enough.
repackage it a little bit in the
Yeah,
way
it
it
needs
should
to
have
be
been
packaging.
presented.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just in the
if
summary.
she's willing to put that much cash in, she doesn't actually need that much from us, but probably wants a partner.
She needs help. She needs advice.
She needs to be willing to listen to you, so hopefully.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she does need to,
Yeah.
to listen.
She's a great entrepreneur. I think the deal's a dog. I didn't realise we were buying pets.
Yeah.
But
Ah,
best of luck.
listen, the
least
jokes
it
are
doesn't
getting,
Best of luck.
can I
least it
just
doesn't
say the
smell like one
jokes
of
are getting
John's
the
deals.
jokes are getting better, and that's saying something.
The Baker Street Property Meet is the UK's largest and #1 property investors networking event. The property market is going through monumental change right now, and at Baker Street Property Meet we aim to keep you up to date with the latest tips and tricks and insider tactics to help you keep on top of your property investing game and succeed in these troubled economic times. The Baker Street Property Meet is fundamentally about networking, because it's not what you know, it's who you know. And at Baker Street we aim to connect you with the people to make your property journey a monumental success. There's no better place to be to further your property investment journey than the Baker Street Property Meet. So make sure you're here, you're connecting with myself and Andrew Roberts, our expert guest speakers, and 300 passionate property people each and every month. See you at the next meet. Get your spot at bakerstreetpropertymeet.com.